Take 18. Hey, I'm Jay Weldy with jrweldy.net. Today is October 16th, 2015, 6:17 a.m. and I actually got started on trying to do this video around 6 o'clock. So I use eXoPlatform to maintain personal, company, and client docs and maintain agendas, scheduling, and some other things. So what we're looking at is eXoPlatform here, and it's running on a virtual machine. It's a 2008 R2 server, and that runs eXoPlatform. In addition to that, I also have numerous other virtual machines running project management, video conferencing, and remote applications. So I just want to go through how I do that real quick. Number one, let's look at documentation. And eXoPlatform excels at many things, and it's hard to encapsulate eXoPlatform in a 5 or 10 minute demo video because there's so much that goes on within the system. And as you can see, what I have here is a PDF with some features from a release of business software, and I can create a folder and we'll go ahead into that folder, and I'll notice that I have 3 PDFs here. I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop these because eXoPlatform excels at document management. It not only handles Excel, PDF, the basic formats, but because I deal with a lot of big graphics, sometimes schematics and building plans, things like that, it handles it beautifully. And we'll go ahead and we'll hit this, and you'll notice that a preview is not available for Word, but with the proper triggers and setup, you can actually open this on your desktop on a Windows machine in Word. It locks the file on the server side. Other members that have access to that document can view it, but they can't edit it. And once you've finalized your edit and save it back to the server, it creates a version, which is pretty handy. Alright, so that's great. We have some documents uploaded, and we can see that we have our social feed for the company, and we have some flash videos for a gaming project that I'm doing. If we want to see any kind of alerts, anything that's happening, we can look up in here. Built-in chat, text chat, so I can say away or do not disturb if I'm in a meeting. And we can also see some things like spaces, which are the forums, and we can also hide those if they're not pertinent to us at any given time. We can do @likes or @mentions. We can upload files directly to the feed, and we can create links to other files outside of the system. We can have topics, and in addition to this, we can add events and tasks. And when does that start? Probably around 11 a.m., 10:30 a.m. And that'll continue on till 1 p.m. because there's some setup involved, and we're just going to add a simple event. Once that's done, then it takes us back to this. Let's go ahead and look at our calendar. And I apologize. A lot of people say I ramble on sometimes, and the reason I ramble on is because I do these videos raw. They're unscripted, and I very seldom go in and edit anything. So we have a calendar here. We can double click this and see a larger provisioning of this task or event. I can add attachments. I can change this to an event category. I can also change this to spaces that other people belong to, and they can be involved in this. I can add reminders by email, pop-ups. Pardon me. I can add people to this, and I can also schedule. So if I need to look at who might be involved in this, I can look at their schedule. I don't know exactly what those blocks would be, but as of right now, nobody is scheduled through this time for any other event or task. And I can add this event to them also. We're not going to do anything like that. Okay, so that's the basic outline of Exo. Handles documents really well, has built-in chat, social feed for your enterprise, spaces for your enterprise, and admins can do that, add spaces, or you can allow your users to add spaces and invite other members of their organizational unit into those spaces. So now you see I have today a agenda, and the agenda is linear, and then my calendar is just block per block. Alright, so if I go to projects now, and this is a separate server running only Office, I can go into projects. I can see a project that I have. I can go to a task within that project, and I can come here now and start stop timer. Opens up another window, and I'll resize that a bit, and it's for the project Unity Game Design Learn Basic AI Animation. I am responsible for this, and I'm going to start my timer and give a description. Okay, so we're going to let that run, and we'll add that time to that project. Okay, so I'm in my project, Unity 3D Game Design, and now I need to look at a Gantt chart. That opens that Gantt chart in a separate window. Now, the nice thing about how that works and the timer works, and also the built-in project management chat, is now I can drag that window out of my primary window with a social feed, and I can work within this Gantt chart in real time, making changes, and my other project managers, or if it were a construction company or something along those lines, can edit their tasks and timelines in real time without locking anything for other users within the Gantt chart or the project, adding time, etc., notes, documentation. Everybody's on the same page because it's a web-based project management application, and you're not emailing files back and forth, you're not emailing spreadsheets, etc., and it works really well. So now I'm adding time to my project. I may have 2 or 3 other project managers or designers working within this project at any given time, and we can see again in real time what is happening within any given project. Nice things about this is child tasks, things like that. Let's look at layers, okay, and we'll go back to the project. Since we're working in this window, we can add documents to this. Let's drag a file in. That file has been uploaded to the project management document server, and now we can look at that, and it is in I believe it's in that project. Yep, there it is. Okay. In addition to project management here, I use this as my email server, which handles email very well. I have spam filtering, I have tags, so if we look at this, I'm going to say always, and I can tag this as communication, and I can also link with a CRM. So do I want to link this with a contact case or opportunity? Let's link it with a contact, and we'll link it with, I don't have anybody to link it with really. So I've added a communication tag. I can link it to the CRM and email people right from here also. So that's how I work with OnlyOffice for project management, etc. Alright, we're going to pause this. Well, we'll leave that run. Let's look at applications. Since I'm a firm believer in the fact that an organization should have an application server, basically a server that handles all the programs and features that they require on a daily basis, instead of having it installed on every single laptop or desktop within the organization. So you bulk license your application if it's like a Microsoft application, bulk license it if it's Outlook, etc. And there's a lot of really good open source software that I try to keep within the scope of what I do, so that I don't have to worry about the licensing. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. I'm going to connect, and you'll see now that I have applications on a server instead of on my desktop. And I'll go ahead and open up Plan Maker. It creates the RDP connection, terminal services, and now this application is running on a server. I have access to it. I don't have to have this program on my laptop, and again, all I have to do is drag that window out, and I can have that open for as long as I need to have it open, making changes while I'm working in something else. For instance, let's do video conferencing. Now, I can't do video conferencing within Safari. Unfortunately, Safari does not handle WebRTC video. So I'm going to switch over to Opera. I'm going to go ahead and log in. And let's log in as an admin. That doesn't look good. Alright, so let's see if I can log in as not quite sure why Opera's doing that to me today. We'll go to video conferencing. Alright, it's obviously an Opera thing, so let's go ahead and open up Chrome. And I'll log in as admin. Okay, so now we're in Chrome, and we can use Opera and Chrome, and I believe Firefox for video conferencing. This is again another virtual machine, virtual server running a XMPP server along with stun and turn servers and a WebRTC plugin so that I can do video conferencing with other members of my projects. So if another member were to log on, I'm going to go ahead and mute that microphone. Their thumbnail would come up along this area here next to mine, and whoever's talking, the audio would be highlighted like you're seeing here, and I can switch between those members and see all of them at the same time. Okay, so that's the third or fourth server that I use for maintaining my project management here at jrweldy.net. So document management is handled and calendaring is handled by eXoPlatform. Projects, project mail, and project documents handled by OnlyOffice. Video conferencing handled by a wonderful XMPP server called OpenFire and off-meet web HTML. So everything that you've seen here demoed requires no additional plugins on your computer. You don't have to install anything to get any of these modules working. You can work on a remote application server in your web browser. You can do video conferencing within your web browser, within specific browsers. You can work on project management in your web browser with no additional plugins. It simplifies technology on the user side so that they're not having to install Java plugins, etc. Everything works right within the browser. Very neat, very elegant way of doing things. So I'm Jay with jrweldy.net, and the final thing we're going to do is close this and add the time. And we can go back to our project management now. We'll go in the projects, Unity 3D game design. I believe that was basic AI animation, and we've got time now, and we also have a nice report of time based on tasks and projects. So we can edit this as a supervisor. We can go in and edit these projects and times and add time codes, etc. I'm Jay with jrweldy.net. Thanks for taking the time to watch my videos. And it's been a long time since I've done a video, so I'm pleased to have the time to do this. Thank you. Stay safe through the holidays.